Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
You are listening to the Brilliance Business Show, conversations with leading experts in business. I am your host, Mark Stephen Pooler. Today, I have an incredible guest, Paul Moehring. Paul is a business coach, and our topic today is eliminating operational pain points in business. Paul, welcome to Brilliance Business.
Thank you, Mark. It's great to be here.
Paul, I'm really looking forward to a conversation with you. Before I get started, I just need to make a legal disclaimer that Paul is not offering legal advice or legal assistance. So let's get started with the show. Paul, can you share with our listeners a little bit about yourself and your business?
Absolutely. I live in the Phoenix, Arizona area and have been here for about 25 years. I started my coaching journey as a district manager for an insurance company. Did that for about 22 years. About 2/3 of the way through that, I knew that I was going to be a business coach when I grew up. So I went through a certification class, got certified, started coaching people, and really enjoyed it. In January of 2020, I made the leap into coaching full time.
Congratulations, Paul. I know that feeling when you finally go all in and do things full time. I did that with my business last year in January as well. And I know what a great feeling that is, but also coaching and mentorship is so important to help people to grow. Everyone needs coaching and a coach. What kind of clients and customers do you serve, Paul?
Well, the first and most important thing you just mentioned is that everybody needs a coach. Even coaches need coaching.
Yes.
So I've hired my share of coaches and learned a ton about the business and how to go about it. The clients that we work with are normally small business owners to medium-sized business owners who are either in the startup phase and trying to get shot out of a circus cannon, so to speak, or they're stuck at a plateau or a slight going downhill. They're struggling with certain parts of their business. That's why we call them operational pain points, because we usually help them recognize what those are, get them fixed so that they can get back to growing.
Well, we all need growth. We all want to get bigger. We all want to make our businesses run more smoothly. And especially now, the global pandemic has really hit business hard. So now we're coming to the light at the end of the tunnel. I think skills to improve our businesses are really needing, and coaching is really important to support us to do that. Now, Paul, I would like to ask you, do you recall a specific aha moment that led to the launch of your business?
Yes, I do, as a matter of fact. First of all, I've been coaching, seems like my whole life. I coached Little League football when I was in junior high. I was always one of the captains on the teams that I was on. So I've always been involved in coaching. And when I got into the opportunity that I'm in now, and I was going through my certification program, I remember one of my first clients that I coached. She was from Australia. She was in a business that didn't exist in the US, so I had no understanding of her business. And yet we were able to work together for a year and a half, and really help her get some things in her business to where she wanted them to go. And the aha moment was, hey, this stuff, number one, it really works. And number two, business is business is business. So there's certain things that carry over from industry to industry, and you can help people get focused in on these things. And those epiphanies that they have are really exciting to watch.
Definitely rewarding when you are seeing the results that your clients are getting as well, Paul. That is a great testimony of the work that you're doing, but must be so rewarding for you. So that brings me greatly onto my next question. What really motivates you to jump out of bed every single day?
Helping people, making a difference. You know, when I think of my clients and their growth and their journey, I imagine them a year, 2 years, 5 years down the road, and in their place, in their award ceremony for the year, they're getting the award for being the best whatever they are. And they're on the stage accepting that trophy or that award, and they're thanking their families and they're thanking their team members and the guidance that they got. And then the music starts up, you know, when they're about to get the hook to get dragged off the stage, and they start walking off the stage, and then they run back to the mic and they say, oh, and I forgot to thank my business coach, Paul Moehring. And I can imagine this with my people and look forward to that. It's a long-term goal, and it's something that is a win-win, but I get such a kick out of imagining them doing that. And that gets me up every day. I'm a worker in the first place, but it gets me up every day to think, who can I help next?
When you're serving and coming from a place of helping others, Paul, that is a great reason to get up every single day. What sets your business apart, and what unique need are you filling for your clients?
I think the biggest thing that sets us apart that I see is the systems, strategies that we will put together specifically for a business. Not every business is the same and requiring the exact same systems and processes. So we help them get those implemented in a personalized manner that is going to work best for them. And then what my clients seem to tell me is that several of them have worked with coaches before or had mentorship or training, and they're impressed by the passion that I have to help them succeed. It's not just a sign up here and let's see how this goes. It's a true passion for their success, and that shows through. And I got that from the great Zig Ziglar and his statement that, I don't know, he's probably, during his lifetime, he probably said it 10,000 times. If you can help enough other people get what they want, then you'll get what you want. So I focus every day on helping people get what they want. And then I don't have to worry about getting what I want because it's going to come.
That's a great point, actually, Paul. I myself have invested thousands and thousands in coaching, in mentors, in workshops and training. And unfortunately, there are coaches out there that sometimes aren't out for the best interest of their clients. I've said it. There are good coaches and there are bad coaches, and with you, you have the passion and it's all about serving your clients. I am exactly the same, and that really does shine through, like you mentioned. And when you're coming from a place of service, it is a great way to build your own business because clients stay long term. It isn't just a quick money exchange. They're long-lasting relationships that go on, and I just love hearing your passion for what you do. I want to know, why is your service especially important in today's modern world?
Well, I think the world in general is changing at a pretty rapid pace, and the introduction of just digital marketing into a business can be a big leap. And then you've got COVID and you've got coming out of COVID. There's so many different pieces of the puzzle that are getting moved around, and you'll be presented over time with 100 different solutions, and only about 4 of them are going to be helpful. So to kind of trudge through all of those different solutions and find the ones that are going to work best for you is a huge, huge advantage. And it saves a ton of time and money and possibly failure, because if you choose the wrong path over and over again, you're just going to run out of time and money, and then you no longer have your business.
Could you share just a few more detail of the kind of services and products that you offer?
Absolutely. When we first start with a client, most of the time we're bringing people in on a one-on-one basis. We also do group coaching as well, but most of the time they're looking for a one-on-one solution to the problems that they've got. So we sit down with them during our first visit, and we're just doing a flyover. I'm imagining that I'm in a plane or a helicopter 500 feet above the ground, looking at their business, looking at what's going on down there, and trying to determine whether I can help them or not. If I've determined that I can help them with my services, then there's probably a 97, 98% chance that I can. I don't go in on a 50-50 and say, yeah, maybe I can help. Let's just give it a shot. And that's where I think some of the coaches and the coaching services that some people get, that's where some of them fail, is that someone says to themselves,
Yes.
well, I mean, I might be able to help, so let's take the money and run. So
Yes.
I want to have a very strong percentage chance that we're going to be able to make a difference. After we do that flyover, then I'll explain to them our process. And the first thing that we do, we run them through our Get Squared process, which is a book that I wrote to help people get their whole life squared up, so to speak. We'll have them set goals in multiple categories of their lives. Then we'll help them with time management to get better prepared for what we're going to do next. Then we recognize and bring to the forefront those operational pain points that they're experiencing and start to work on those. If we can get them in a better position with their goals, so they become goal getters instead of just goal setters, we can get them kind of on a roll with those and start winning again. We can take that, parlay that into the right types of wins in the right types of places in their business. And that's really fun to watch. So after we get that going, then we'll attack different things, like most businesses need a refresh on their vision, or they're not connected to their vision. Or if I were to go and talk to 5 of their employees, they wouldn't even know what their mission statement or vision or any of those pieces are. Oftentimes, there's a big disconnect in that business owner and then their right-hand person or their number 10 person. There's a huge gap there. And we want to shrink that gap so that the owner has got everybody marching to the beat of the same drum. And we find that to be a real helpful step as well, because when that owner leaves the place of work or is absent for a while, you want the business to keep running as it did before. You don't want it to just come to a screeching halt and go nowhere. And that's a big part of the work that we do, because most people, when they got into business for themselves, or they imagined running an operation, they didn't imagine putting 85 hours in and giving up all the rest of the areas of their lives. They wanted to do it for some freedom. So we help them get better at that part of the business. And that's usually a huge win, both at work and at home.
Now, you mentioned your book there. Could you just repeat the title and tell our listeners where they can get a hold of it?
Absolutely. It's called Get Squared, and it's on Amazon. We just had it turned into an Audible book as well. I don't know about you, but I try to read a lot of books. And if I didn't have Audible, I'd probably read a third of the books that I do in a year.
big Audible fan. I love Audible. I don't read a lot at all. So it's great that it's an Audible version as well for me. I learn a lot better when I'm listening as well. Now, I know you have all sorts of client success stories. Can you just share one that stands out to you?
Absolutely. I like to use this one as an example. This client's name is Wyatt, and Wyatt isn't his actual name. But one of the things that we do with our clients is that we realize that they're sometimes in positions where they don't want to scream from the mountaintops what they're doing, that they're getting coaching. Sometimes they're not too excited to have their competitors understand what they're doing, because all of a sudden their numbers start to come around and they want to have me as their competitive secret. But Wyatt is a business that I've always been fond of. And when we sat down on our first visit with Wyatt, it became extremely apparent what their operational pain points were. And they were the kind of operational pain points that we could attack and fix pretty easily, surrounding staff, surrounding some of the jobs and job responsibilities that were going on. And the accountability was a big factor that was missing. So we started our work with this business owner, and his right-hand person was his spouse in the business. So we had each one of them fill out their goal square, which is out of the Get Squared book. And when we presented it to his spouse, she said, "Oh, I don't need to do this. I just do some of the operations and support. I don't need to do the goal square." And I said, "No, take this home and do it. You can see here, it isn't just about work." And I'll never forget when I came back to visit them for my next follow-up, she was almost waiting out front with her goal square in hand. And I walked in the door, and it must have been a 15, 20-minute discussion about specifically her goal square. She just couldn't stop talking about it and what it meant to her when she had put it together, and the changes that she was going to make because she had put it together. And it was just really exciting to watch that happen. Now, 2 months after we started working with Wyatt, he already had eliminated the biggest pain point that he had and started growing his business, which isn't usually the case. We don't expect that in 2 months, all of a sudden they're going to flip something that's shrinking into growing. But it was really neat to see because, again, his pain points were pretty straightforward and easy to focus on and fix. He's never, ever stopped thanking me for the time that we spent together, and we still meet on a regular basis, currently working on that next thing to help him out. But those are the stories that keep you coming back as a coach, because it's so neat to watch. And you know that if you didn't have just a little bit to do with that, it maybe would have taken a few years for them to figure out on their own. And that's what's exciting.
I love a success story. And again, that shows the power of being coached and having a coach. And it also shows how rewarding it is for you as a coach to have that long-term relationship and knowing you have helped your client to get such growth. How do your clients typically hear about you? And are there certain life moments that usually lead to them seeking you out?
Well, a big place for that to come is through referrals. And then through our website, spaulmoehring.com, we'll have people come through there. We do reach out for specific businesses through LinkedIn. So we're doing all the different marketing, but probably the best and biggest are the ones that come from referrals, because somebody's struggling and they talk to someone that we're working with, and they say, "Wow, you don't seem to be struggling like I am in this area. What are you doing?" Maybe they're out for a coffee or a lunch, and they're trying to pick the brain of that person that's working with us. And then we get that referral.
I always say, Paul, a referral is a sign of a job done well.
Oh, absolutely. And that person that referred the client to us has really done all of our sales job for us. They're sitting there waiting to say yes when we first talk to them because of the fact that the person that referred them to us did such a great sales job for us.
Paul, I have thoroughly enjoyed having a conversation with you today. Is there anything we did not cover that you would like to share?
Boy, I don't think so. It seems like we got it all covered.
Excellent. And one last time, what is the best way for our listeners to connect with you?
Great question. The website is S, that's my first initial, and then Paul, of course, Paul, and then the last name is Moehring.com, spaulmoehring.com. And then you can set up a visit where we'll get on the phone and chat or get on Zoom and chat.
Paul, thank you so much for coming on to the Brilliance Business Show. I've really enjoyed having a conversation with you.
Thanks for having me on, Mark. This has been great.
It's been my pleasure. You have been listening to the Brilliance Business Show, conversations with leading experts in business.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.